there is some sort of conspiracy going on. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but News Nation reached out to me to come on their channel, on their platform to discuss Diddy. I told them they had to pay me. They didn't want to pay. I didn't do it, so then they bring Ray J on. So instead of me, they brought Ray J. Ray J was with Diddy, F. Gary Gray, and yeah, Diddy, F. Gary Gray, Diddy, and Ray J was out in Vegas on some very strange timing.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Yeah, because shout out Donnie Simmons. He's a police officer. He had did the little test on my car, and they found the traces of it right there.
Wow.
So yeah.
Damn.
So it get real, bro. You feel, that's why, I see like Jaguar Wright on her, making her plays, and like I see certain people doing their thing, and like, the price of life is cheap, bro.
Yeah.
And like, I know she don't have like the same like mental security awareness that I'm gonna have. But she do got that woman divine energy stuff going on. So, gotta be careful, bro. You gotta be careful.
What are your thoughts on Jaguar Wright, what she's saying and the truth she's trying to put out? Because she's been talking for a few years now.
Yeah.
And you've been going even further back than that with stuff that you saw.
Yeah.
What do you take on what she's speaking on now, and even the Pierce Morgan situation?
So, I'm not going to debate like facts with people about Jaguar Wright. You feel me? This is a lady who got song production credits with Al Green, bro. This is somebody who's a gifted talent, like a real artist, have a real singing voice, like now outside of the studio without synthesizers and effects. You feel me? And like anybody who's on a crusade to bring awareness to human trafficking and oppression against women and children, I support. You feel me? Like, because that's really what the cause is. Because, that was always my true message. You feel me? Like, to get my message out, I knew I wanted to throw the people under the bus. But, like, I'm the boogeyman to them. So, like, I ain't really worried about that. You feel me? But it's just like, it's things happening in our country that people aren't paying attention to. You feel me? The Democrats let in 13,000 people with murder convictions illegally through the border. That's outlandish. Over 600 people on a terrorist watch list have crossed the border illegally and are moving freely on the undetained list here in America. Each year, 150 plus thousand children come across the border and are unaccounted for. If they're not with proper authorities, they are with cartels, they are with criminal organizations, they are getting sex trafficked. It's the biggest business on the planet. You feel me? Because like my thing is like eventually, it's 40,000 war-age Chinese nationals have crossed the border illegally. They're coming with instructions on who to talk to when they get here. Verizon Wireless was just brought down. Those are those Chinese hackers. The country of China has had several illegal Chinese police stations operating in our country. How is this happening? Eventually, people are going to start to explode in the grocery store while our mothers and grandmothers and our families out shopping. There's no way around this. So, like, these are things people need to really pay attention to, because if you see Democratic parties banning abortion, they're doing that because human birth rate is on the point of collapse. People of European descent in this country, their birth rates are collapsed to the point of catastrophic level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're going to ban abortion. So people are going to look at like, oh, they trying to do this like this to oppress people. No. The birth rate is collapsing. The middle class in this country is getting squozed out. They brought all of these immigrants into swing states. Their plan is to make them legal, so now all of the other red states turn blue. There is some sort of conspiracy going on. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but News Nation reached out to me to come on their channel, on their platform to discuss Diddy. I told them they had to pay me. They didn't want to pay. I didn't do it, so then they bring Ray J on. So instead of me, they brought Ray J. Ray J was with Diddy, F. Gary Gray, and Diddy, F. Gary Gray, Diddy, and Ray J was out in Vegas on some very strange timing. So for them to bring him up there and he trying to speak positive about the situation, that's a conspiracy.
That is crazy. That is planning.
I often ask these questions because you're right. There are things going on behind the scenes. But it's so big, it's like, what do you do about it? Like, for instance, I watched a lady, she was talking about, they tell her, they make it impossible for us to pay our bills, and then they make it illegal to be poor. Because what she was doing, she had started getting groups of people, and they were just pitching tents. And they had the authority was coming out there and saying, you can't put a tent right here. And they was like, but we can't live anywhere. Nowhere else for us to go. We can't afford to live. So it's like the middle class is disappearing. So like, what do you do about it? Or what? And that's not what do we, but like specifically, how do you feel like you're gonna have to move coming in the future?
Yeah, so I have a website called thecolony.life. So basically, I got 500 people who have pledged $2,000. That's $1 million. So I've raised $1 million to purchase a swath of land, solar powered.
Oh, wow.
Little community. And several other projects like this that's going on right now.
Right.
You can't save everybody.
Right.
Small groups of people, your tribe of people, you got to break off and do your own thing. It's really the only answer. And we got to get away from the Democratic Party. Simply because the only chance we have of shrinking the government is to go the Republican route. Because people don't know that the Democratic Party was founded by the KKK. People don't know this. Like, the Democrats were against abolishing slavery. People don't know these things, you know. Like, I remember Rob Blagojevich coming in my church. I remember Barack Obama coming in my church when I was a kid and saying, if you can vote for Blagojevich, you can vote for Obama. And that resonated with me because look at Obama and look at Kamala. They look like they could be
brother and sister.
Hey.
And there's a retired FBI agent named John D'Souza, a man who I respect very much, a highly respectable individual, a solid man. He has an expose speaking about how the former president true identity, and I'll leave it at that. So if anybody wants to look into that, look up John D'Souza, retired FBI agent, and look up the word Barry, Barry. Check that out.
So I know you may have some feelings about the Democratic Party, but the Republican candidate, you know, he's trying to pass certain propositions.
He'll never do it. In order to pass any of that, they have to pass Congress. It's just his plan.
What did he say when he want to deband the Department of Education?
You want to defund the Department of Education?
Defund them. Like, it's too many of them. It's too many of them walking around. I don't want to sound like
give police full immunity against prosecution.
Yeah, so the thing with that is, like, he's not a dictator.
Yeah, no.
And In order for him to pass that plan, he would have to be able to change the Constitution.
For sure.
That'll never happen in this country.
Well, so they gave presidents immunity. That's never happened in this country.
The Supreme Court gave him immunity.
But wasn't that for presidents going forward? Like, we're gonna president can't be prosecuted.
Start getting into that level of the world.
Oof.
If somebody gave this is how this works. You got this seat in the Supreme Court. It costs you several millions to get elected to be a senator previously to that. So whoever's funding you is whose ideals you gonna support. There was a portion of the U.S. military that they had to remove from active duty because they said they were radicalized behind Trump. So you gotta think about it. I really start to get nervous when I see people going out their way to antagonize white male population. Because if you study history, this is the most prolific group of killers that ever hit the planet.
Ever.
Absolutely.
They can organize themselves better than any other community of people. So when you see a country doing things to antagonize them,
Yeah, no, hey, so with that being said,
you gotta be on point.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Stars, nigga. Move. Hey.